Radio Tirana. From now on, Radio Tirana listeners, you can hear us only on internet in the following address: rts.al/radio.tirana-3. Welcome back to Radio Tirana International. Join us with a news press review on Albania's integration into EU and finally Albanian hit through years. The main top stories. State Election Commissioner Ilian Telibashi had a meeting with the head of the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Systems, IDEA International, Sam van der Staat, and the regional program official, Bleka Hoxha. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss the Central Election Commission process for online monitoring and reporting of political party funding. The Central Election Commission plans for a transparent digital platform for the interaction of political parties, monitors, and experts. The possibility of expertise from IDEA International for cybersecurity of information technology systems and modules at the Central Election Commission was also discussed. At the meeting, views were exchanged on the future of electronic voting and voting of Albanians living abroad, as well as cooperation milestones were set for possible technical expertise to facilitate the implementation of these processes of particular importance to Central Election Commission. Justice Minister Ulshi Manja commented on the Transparency International report on corruption in the country. The report showed that Albania had dropped 1 point in the rankings. Immediately, in a statement to the media, Manja said that the fight against corruption is an obligation to citizens and children. We are discussing the IT report. We consider it a priority of our work. But in the first place, the fight against corruption, whether as a perception or real concrete corruption, we have an obligation to our children, our citizens, to make an environment where the state provides public services in a quality manner. In cases of corruption, we have violations of the standards of citizens. We will have a concrete strategy for fighting corruption. The fight against corruption cannot succeed if we do not cooperate all together, including you as the media. I invite you to have your strongest ally during 2022, during this war, said Manja. Radio Tirana with the news. The Ministry of Health and Social Protection announces that a total of 2,569,137 anti-COVID vaccinations has been performed. 4,435 vaccinations were carried out yesterday. Family doctors also identified 60 Albanian citizens who were vaccinated abroad through vaccination certificates, or 120 vaccinations applied abroad. It is clarified that the total number of reported vaccinations includes the vaccinations of Albanian citizens performed abroad, and they are registered in our integrated systems to give everyone the opportunity to complete the vaccination process in Albania or abroad. The Ministry of Health appeals to citizens to be vaccinated as soon as possible to protect themselves and the health of others. Every citizen over 16 years old can be vaccinated at the health center or at the nearest centralized vaccination point. Vaccination is also open for children plus 12 years old with programs of the immune system, with a recommendation from the government, explains the ministry. The Ministry of Health appeals to citizens who have passed 6 months since the second dose of vaccine to go to health centers or concentrated vaccination points to be vaccinated with the third boosting dose. Anti-COVID vaccines reduce the chance of infection and largely avoid hospitalizations and fatalities. Employment statistics show that women increased the active labor force by 1.3% during the third quarter of the year, while men decreased it by 0.6%. Employment experts also tell us the reason for this new phenomenon in the labor market. Meanwhile, women in the workplace are preferred because of the difference in wages that may be lower compared to men, as statistics suggest. Unemployment in Albania has decreased from the pandemic, reaching 11.3% in the third quarter of the year. The 69-year-old journalist and director of Albanian radio television, Ilir Buçpapaj, passed away at the age of 69 after a heart attack. Ilir Buçpapaj worked as a journalist at Radio Tirana television for 37 years, focusing mainly on chronicles, news, TV reportages, profiles, and television documentaries. Buçpapaj has made more than 750 television documentaries with historical themes dedicated to the most important moments and bright figures of our history, as well as 300 TV reportages. Ilir Buçpapaj has received many awards from journalist organizations in Albania and the region, but also culture institutions, Albania, Kosovo, Macedonia, Montenegro, and the diaspora. He was awarded honorary citizen of Kilmendi, Devoli, and Trofoia. That is the end of the news. Radio Tirana. Press review. We start today's press with Samina Devi writing that the Minister of Finance and Economy, Delina Ibrahimaj, participated in the National Conference Internal Control System as one of the main pillars in the good management of public finances. This conference was organized by the Ministry of Finance and Economy in cooperation with the Local Finance Project and with the support of the Swiss government. Reading through the story, we get information about the aim of the Ministry of Finance and Economy to continuously support public entities in strengthening the internal control system and improving public sector financial reporting as part of the reforms for good management of public finances. Through continuous improvement of the legal framework in accordance with the best international practices, it has become possible to facilitate the implementation of procedures in the field of internal control. Panorama writes that the Ministry of Finance drafts annual report on the functioning of the public internal financial control system in the units of the general government, which, in addition to the analysis, comes out with the recommendations for achieving the objectives in this area. We pass on to Mapo Daily. The Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs announces that Greece has extended the current anti-COVID measures until February 7, 2022. That is a headline on the front page of Mapo. All Albanian citizens traveling to Greece, regardless of nationality, regardless of whether they have been vaccinated or have been diagnosed with COVID-19, they are required to submit a negative PCR test performed no longer than 72 hours prior to travel, or a rapid antigenic test performed within 24 hours before the trip. Also, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announces that all travelers entering the territory of the Republic of Greece must fill in the electronic form PLF, Passenger Locator Form. The measure applies to adults and children over 5 years old regardless of vaccination. The border points of Kakavia, Kapstica, Chavgota operate during 24 hours, while the border point of Three Bridges operates only from 8 to 20. Gazeta Shqiptare, Instat, 5.6 million tourists chose Albania during 2021. That is the headline on the front page of this paper, writing that the number of foreign nationals who entered Albania during 2021 was 5,688,649, marking an increase of 2.1 times compared to 2020. According to indicators published by Instat during 2021, Poland has had the largest increase in tourists entering our country, with 4.6 times more, Spain by 4.5 times, and USA by 3.9 times compared to the previous year. According to Instat, in December 2021, the number of foreign nationals entering Albanian territory was 267,409. Compared to December 2020, this number has increased by 47.9%, while in